The small human ship called Pioneer moved slowly through space toward the massive station ahead. Captain Jake Morrison stood on the bridge and watched through the main window. The station was bigger than anything he had ever seen. It was made of silver metal and crystal that sparkled in the light of nearby stars. This was Nexus Prime, home of the Galactic Council. Jake turned to look at his team. Dr. Lisa Carter sat at a computer, checking her notes about alien species one more time. She was a smart woman who studied how different life forms worked. Her blonde hair was pulled back, and her blue eyes showed she was nervous but ready. Next to her stood Commander Ben Hayes, a tall man with gray hair and serious brown eyes. He was their military expert and had been in many battles before. "Are you both ready for this?" Jake asked them. Lisa nodded and closed her computer. "I have studied all 12 council species. I know their languages and their customs. We should be fine if we follow the rules." Ben crossed his arms. "The rules say we get 15 minutes to make our case. That is not much time to convince them that humans deserve to join their club." Jake looked back at the station. 15 minutes is all we get. We have to make it count." The Pioneer moved closer to Nexus Prime. The station was so big that their small ship looked like a bug next to a building. Docking arms reached out and grabbed their ship with a soft thud. A voice came through their radio speakers. It spoke in perfect English, but with a strange accent. "Human delegation, you are cleared to enter. Follow the blue lights to Council. Chamber 1, do not stop. Do not touch anything. Do not speak to anyone until you reach the chamber." The 3 humans put on their best uniforms and walked through the airlock. The hallway inside the station was huge. The ceiling was so high that Jake could barely see it. Blue lights on the floor showed them which way to go. Strange alien creatures walked past them, but none looked at the humans. Some had scales, some had fur, and some looked like they were made of light itself. They passed rooms with windows that showed alien worlds. One planet was covered in purple oceans. Another had floating cities in pink clouds. Jake had seen pictures of these places before, but seeing them in person made his heart beat faster. This was the galaxy that humans wanted to join. The blue lights led them to a pair of doors that were 3 times taller than Jake. The doors opened by themselves and showed the council chamber inside. Jake felt his mouth fall open. The room was a giant dome made of clear crystal. Stars shone through the top, and holographic displays floated everywhere. 12 sections of the chamber held different alien species. Each section looked different. One area had pools of green water where fish-like beings swam. Another had crystals that glowed with inner light. The biggest section held creatures that looked like giant lizards with golden scales. "The human delegation will approach the center circle," said a deep voice that seemed to come from everywhere at once. Jake walked forward with Lisa and Ben behind him. The center of the room had a small platform surrounded by a circle of light. As they stepped onto it, the light grew brighter, and Jake could see all 12 alien groups clearly. The largest lizard creature spoke first. "I am Elder Vexhai of the Zeltharian Empire. I speak for this council today." His voice was like rocks grinding together. "You are Captain Jake Morrison of the human species. You have requested membership in our council. This is unusual." Jake stood straight and tried to look confident. "Yes, Elder Vexhai. Humanity wishes to join the Galactic Council. We believe we can contribute to peace and progress in the galaxy." A sound like wind chimes came from the crystal section. When it spoke, the voice was high and musical. "Humans are very young. Your species has only just learned to travel between stars. Why should we consider you worthy of membership?" Lisa stepped forward. "Elder Vexhai, honored council members, humanity may be young, but we learn quickly. In just 50 years, we went from our first space flight to faster-than-light travel. We have established colonies on multiple worlds and made peaceful contact with other species. A section that looked like it was full of flowing water began to pulse with different colors. When it spoke, many voices said the same words at the same time. The Mindari Collective has observed human behavior. Humans fight among themselves. They pollute their world. They are not ready for galactic society. Ben's jaw tightened, but he stayed quiet. Jake had told him to let Jake do most of the talking. Jake pulled out a small device and pressed a button. Images appeared in the air above them. We have brought evidence of our achievements. These are our colonies on 3 different star systems. This is our first contact protocol, which has resulted in peaceful meetings with 16 different species. This is our planet Earth, which is healing from past damage thanks to new technology. The images showed human cities on alien worlds, meetings between humans and strange creatures, an Earth with clean blue oceans and green forests. Elder Vexhai leaned forward. His golden eyes studied the images. Impressive for such a young species. But membership in this council requires more than basic achievements. We maintain peace across thousands of star systems. We have prevented wars for 3,000 years. What can humans offer that we do not already have? Jake looked around the chamber. He could see alien faces watching him. Some looked curious. Others looked bored. A few seemed amused, like they were watching children play with toys. Humans offer fresh perspectives, Jake said. We offer new ideas and different ways of solving problems. We offer friendship and cooperation. We ask only for the chance to prove ourselves worthy of joining your great alliance. The chamber fell quiet for a moment. Then Jake heard something that made his heart sink. It started as a small sound from the crystal section. Then it spread to other parts of the chamber. The aliens were laughing at them. Elder Vexhai held up one clawed hand, and the laughter stopped. Captain Morrison, your presentation is noted. The council will now discuss your request. Please wait outside while we deliberate. Jake felt his face get hot with embarrassment, but he kept his voice steady. Thank you, Elder Vexhai. We will await your decision. The 3 humans walked back toward the tall doors. As they left the chamber, Jake could hear the aliens talking, in their strange languages. Some of the sounds were clearly more laughter. Lisa's face was red, and Ben's hands were clenched into fists. They had come so far and tried so hard. But as the doors closed behind them, Jake wondered if humanity would ever be accepted by the galactic community. Jake, Lisa, and Ben waited outside the council chamber for what felt like hours. The hallway was quiet, except for the soft hum of the space station's engines. Other aliens walked past them, but none spoke to the humans. Some pointed at them and whispered in their strange languages. Lisa sat on a bench and stared at her hands. I thought we did well in there. Our presentation covered everything important about human progress. Ben paced back and forth like a caged animal. Did you hear? Them laughing? They think we are some kind of joke. Jake leaned against the crystal wall and watched the stars through a large window. Maybe they laugh at all new species. We knew this would not be easy. The tall doors opened with a deep sound that echoed through the hallway. A small robot with multiple arms floated out and spoke in a flat voice. The human delegation will return to the council chamber. The decision has been made. The 3 humans walked back into the giant dome. This time, the alien council members looked more serious. No one was laughing now. Elder Vexhai stood up in his section, his golden scales catching the light from above. Captain Morrison, Elder Vexhai began, his voice filling the chamber. The Galactic Council has reached a unanimous decision regarding humanity's request for membership. Before we announce this decision, we wish to explain our reasoning. Jake felt his stomach tighten. The word unanimous did not sound good. Elder Vex High pointed one clawed finger at the humans. Your species is what we classify as juvenile. You have existed for only a few million years, which is barely a moment in galactic time. Most council members have civilizations that are over 100 million years old. The crystal beings chimed in with their musical voice. Your technology is primitive. Your ships move slowly compared to ours. Your weapons are simple projectiles that fire metal bullets. We stopped using such crude methods millions of years ago. Jake wanted to speak, but Elder Vex High held up his hand for silence. Your biology is inefficient, continued a new voice. This came from a section filled with giant insects that looked like praying mantises. The speaker was larger than the others, with a crown of sharp spines on her head. You require 8 hours of sleep every day. You cannot survive in most galactic environments without bulky life support systems. Your lifespans are embarrassingly short. Some of us live for thousands of years. The flowing water section pulsed with angry colors. The Mindari Collective spoke. With their many voices at once, your minds are limited. Each human has only one consciousness. You cannot share thoughts or work as a true group mind. You make decisions slowly and often disagree with each other. This creates chaos and conflict. Lisa started to stand up, but Jake put a hand on her arm to stop her. Another alien spoke from a section that looked like a garden of moving plants. Your species still fights wars among yourselves. You pollute your planets. You consume resources without thinking about the future. You are not ready for the responsibility of galactic citizenship. Elder Vex High nodded at each speaker. The Council has also reviewed your recent expansion into space. You have established exactly 4 colonies in 3 star systems. This is a tiny presence compared to any Council member. The smallest of our civilizations controls over 10,000 star systems. The Insect Queen clicked her mandibles together. Your fastest ships take weeks to travel between nearby stars. Our vessels make the same journey in hours. Your communication systems have delays that make real-time coordination impossible across even short distances. Jake felt his face getting hot with anger, but he kept his voice calm. Honored Council members, we admit that humanity is young and our technology needs improvement. But we have made remarkable progress in a short time. We are willing to learn and contribute what we can. The crystals chimed again, but this time the sound was harsh and unpleasant. Learn? What could you possibly teach civilizations that mastered science when your planet was still molten rock? Your greatest achievements are our ancient history. Ben stepped forward, his face red with anger. We may be young, but we have something you seem to have forgotten. We have the courage to try new things and the determination to overcome any obstacle. Several alien sections erupted in laughter again. The sound echoed through the dome like thunder. Elder Vex High raised his voice above the noise. Courage and determination are admirable qualities in children. But this council requires wisdom, advanced technology, and proven stability. You possess none of these things. The Mindari Collective spoke again. Humans are emotionally unstable. You just demonstrated this with your angry outburst. Council decisions require calm logic, not primitive emotional reactions. Lisa finally could not stay quiet. We are not primitive. We have developed faster than light travel independently. We have solved problems that challenged us for generations. We have explored dangerous new worlds and survived. The plant-like aliens rustled their leaves in what might have been laughter. You developed FTL travel by copying fragments of technology left behind by real civilizations. You did not invent anything new. Jake felt his heart sink. How did they know about the alien artifacts that human scientists had studied? Elder Vex High stood to his full height, which was nearly twice as tall as Jake. The decision of the Galactic Council is final. Humanity is denied membership. Your species lacks the maturity, technology, and wisdom required for galactic society. He paused and looked directly at Jake. We suggest that your species focus on growing up. Perhaps in 1,000 years, when you have proven yourselves capable of true civilization, you may request another hearing. The chamber fell silent. Jake could hear his own heartbeat in his ears. Lisa's hands were shaking with anger and disappointment. Ben looked like he wanted to fight every alien in the room. Elder Vex High made a gesture with his clawed hand. You are dismissed. Safe travels back to your small corner of the galaxy. Jake stood there for a moment, feeling the weight of failure crushing down on him. They had come so far and hoped for so much. Now they were being sent home like children who had asked for something beyond their understanding. But then something inside Jake shifted. He thought about all the humans back on Earth and the colonies who were counting on this mission. He thought about the years of preparation and the dreams of joining the galactic community. He was not ready to give up. Jake straightened his shoulders and looked around the chamber at all the alien faces watching him with amusement and dismissal. Elder Vex High, Jake said in a clear, strong voice. Before we leave, I have one small request. Elder Vex High tilted his large head and looked at Jake with surprise. The other council members stopped their quiet conversations and focused on the human captain. The chamber became very quiet. A request? Elder Vex High said slowly. You have been denied membership in our council. What could you possibly want now? Jake took a deep breath and stepped forward. I understand that you see humans as primitive and weak. You have made your decision clear. But I ask permission to show you one thing about humanity that you may have missed. The crystal beings chimed softly. What could you show us that would change anything? We have already seen your technology and achievements. Jake looked around the chamber at all the alien faces watching him. You have seen our machines and our colonies, but you have not seen what truly makes humans special. We are not defined by our individual limitations. We are defined by our ability to work together and overcome impossible challenges. The insect queen clicked her mandibles together in what sounded like amusement. You wish to demonstrate teamwork? Many species work together. This is not special. Not just teamwork, Jake said. Something more. I request permission to contact Earth and our other colonies. I want to show you how humans really operate when we face a challenge. Elder Vex High looked around at the other council members. Several of them made sounds that Jake thought might be laughter. The flowing water section pulsed with colors that seemed to show amusement. This is most unusual, Elder Vex High said. Rejected species typically leave immediately. But your request is harmless. Very well. You may use our communication systems for your demonstration. Perhaps it will provide entertainment. Jake heard Ben make a small angry sound behind him. The word entertainment stung, but Jake ignored it. He had expected this reaction. Thank you, Elder Vex High. I will also need access to your main display systems. The plant-like aliens rustled their leaves. You want to use our holographic displays? For what purpose? To show you something that words cannot describe, Jake answered. Elder Vex High waved. One clawed hand. Granted. But you have exactly 10 minutes for this demonstration. Then you will leave our station. Jake nodded and turned to his team. Lisa, start setting up quantum communication links with Earth. Ben, coordinate with the Pioneer. I need you to establish connections with all our major installations. Lisa opened her computer and began typing quickly. What exactly are we doing? Jake, what are you planning to show them? Jake walked to the center of the chamber, where a control panel rose from the floor. The alien technology was strange, but human engineers had studied council systems for years. He knew how to operate the basic functions. We are going to show them who we really are, Jake said, The main holographic display activated above there. Heads. It was a sphere of light the size of a small building that could show images and data from anywhere in the galaxy. Right now it was empty, waiting for Jake's input. Ben spoke quietly into his communicator. Pioneer, this is Hayes. Initiate Communication Protocol 7. Connect us to Earth Command, Luna Base, and Mars Central. The council members watched with growing curiosity as the humans worked. They probably expected to see simple messages or basic technology demonstrations. The first signal came through clearly. A voice spoke from the display speakers in English, but the station's computers translated it for all the aliens to understand. This is Earth Command. Captain Morrison, we have been waiting for your signal. All systems are ready. Jake spoke toward the display. Earth Command, this is Captain Morrison aboard Nexus Prime. Please confirm status of all installations and colonies. Confirmed, Captain. Luna Base is operational. Mars Colonial Administration is online. Jupiter Mining Consortium reports all facilities ready. Saturn Research Station is standing by. The council members looked mildly interested, but not impressed. Most galactic species had basic interplanetary infrastructure. Expand to the outer colonies, Jake said. Roger that. Alpha Centauri colony is online. Wolf 359 industrial base reports ready. Arnard's star outpost is operational. All deep space monitoring stations are responding. Now the council was paying more attention. The display showed a basic map of human space with dots of light marking each location. It looked respectable, but not extraordinary. Elder Vex High leaned forward. Your expansion is larger than we initially observed, but still modest compared to true galactic civilizations. Jake smiled for the first time since entering the chamber. Lisa, are all the deep links established? Lisa looked up from her computer. All quantum communication networks are active. We have full connection to the monitoring grid. Monitoring grid? Asked the crystalline beings. What monitoring grid? Jake entered a command into the control panel. This monitoring grid. The holographic display suddenly expanded to show not just the local star systems around Earth, but a much larger area of space. Dozens of new lights appeared on the map, scattered throughout the local galactic arm. These are human deep space observation posts, Jake explained calmly. We have been watching this region of the galaxy for the past 30 years. The chamber erupted in surprised sounds from multiple species. The Mindari Collective's water section began pulsing rapidly with many different colors. Impossible, said the Insect Queen. Our sensors would have detected large human installations. Ben stepped forward with a slight smile. Your sensors detect what they expect to find. These are not large installations. They are small, hidden observation posts staffed by 2 or 3 humans each. Jake entered another command. Each post has been carefully positioned to observe major galactic trade routes, strategic resource points, and yes, even some of your military installations. The display zoomed in to show specific areas. Small human outposts appeared near several worlds that Jake recognized as council member home systems. The aliens could see that humans had been watching them for decades without being detected. Elder Vex High stood up quickly, his golden scales bristling with anger or alarm. You have been spying on us? Not spying, Jake said calmly. Observing, learning, trying to understand what kind of civilization we hope to join. The plant aliens rustled violently. How is this possible? How did you hide from our detection systems? Lisa looked up from her computer. The same way humans have always survived. We adapt. We learn. We find ways to do things that others think are impossible. Jake pressed another control. But this is only the beginning of what I wanted to show you. The display changed again. And this time, even Jake felt his heart beat faster. What appeared next would either convince the Council that they had misjudged humanity, or get the three humans thrown off the station immediately. The real demonstration was about to begin. Jake took a deep breath and looked around the chamber. Every alien eye was focused on him now. The atmosphere had changed from amusement to serious attention. Some council members looked worried. "What you have seen so far is just our observation network," Jake said quietly. "Now I want to show you what we have really been doing for the past 50 years. He entered a new command into the control panel. The holographic display shifted and expanded even further. What appeared next made several council members gasp in their various alien ways. The display now showed sleek human ships moving through space near many of the council worlds. These were not the simple vessels like the Pioneer. These ships were larger, faster, and had a design that looked almost alien itself. "Impossible," whispered Elder Vex High. "Our sensors show no human ships in those areas." Ben stepped forward with a proud smile. "That is because these ships use stealth technology. Your sensors cannot detect them unless we want them to." The insect queen's mandibles clicked rapidly. "Where did you get stealth technology?" "Your species just developed basic spaceflight." Lisa looked up from her computer. "We developed it ourselves, based on observations of your ships and others. Humans are very good at watching, learning, and improving." Jake pressed another control. The display zoomed in on one of the human ships. "This is the U-East Shadow. It has been stationed near the Zeltharian home system for 8 years. Your people never knew it was there." Elder Vex High's scales turned a darker color. "That is impossible. Our home system has the most advanced detection systems in the galaxy." "Advanced, yes," Jake agreed. "But you designed them to detect technology like yours. Humans think differently. We found ways to hide that you never considered." The crystal beings chimed in harmony, but the sound was sharp and worried. "How many of these hidden ships do you have?" Jake smiled. "Ben, please show them the full fleet positions." Ben spoke into his communicator. "All stealth vessels, this is Commander Hayes. Execute revelation protocol. Make yourselves visible." The holographic display suddenly filled with hundreds of dots representing human ships. They appeared near every major council world, along trade routes, and in strategic positions throughout the local galactic arm. The chamber erupted in shocked sounds from all 12 alien species. The flowing water section of the Mindari Collective turned dark red with alarm. "You have been watching all of us," said the plant-like aliens in a voice that sounded like wind through leaves. "For how long?" 30 years, Jake answered calmly. "We have observed your trade patterns, your military movements, and your diplomatic meetings. We learned your languages by listening. We studied your technology by watching." The insect queen stood up in her section, her spines bristling with anger. "This is an act of war. You have violated our sovereignty." "No," Lisa said firmly. "We never interfered with your activities. We never attacked anyone. We just watched and learned. Just like you watch younger species before deciding if they deserve attention." Jake entered another command. But watching was only the first step. "Lisa, show them the colony data." The display changed to show human colonies, but not the 4 small ones that Jake had mentioned in his original presentation. This showed dozens of thriving human settlements on worlds throughout nearby star systems. "These colonies are in places where your species could not survive," Jake explained. "Worlds with poisonous atmospheres, extreme radiation, or crushing gravity. Places you consider worthless." Elder Vex High leaned forward to study the display. "How do humans survive in such environments?" "These worlds would kill most council species in minutes." "Because we adapt," Ben said proudly. "We do not just build machines to protect us. We change ourselves when we need to. We use genetic therapy, cybernetic implants, and environmental suits that your people never imagined. The crystal beings chimed softly. Your biology is supposed to be inefficient. How can you survive where we cannot? Lisa stood up and walked closer to the display. You called our biology inefficient because we need sleep and cannot live as long as you. But you missed something important. Our biology is flexible. We can change and adapt in ways that your perfected forms cannot. Jake pressed another control. The display showed human mining operations on asteroids, underwater cities on ocean worlds, and research stations inside the coronas of stars. Our short lifespans make us work faster and take risks that longer-lived species avoid, Jake continued. Our need for sleep helps our brains process and combine information in new ways. Our individual consciousness lets us make quick decisions without waiting for group consensus. The Mindari Collective pulsed with many colors. You speak of advantages, but we have observed human conflicts and wars. How can a violent species contribute to galactic peace? Ben's expression became serious. Our conflicts taught us hard lessons about cooperation and diplomacy. We learned that working together produces better results than fighting. This is why we have been so patient in approaching your council. Jake entered one final command. But the most important thing we learned from watching you is this. The display showed recordings of council meetings over the past 30 years. Alien voices spoke in their own languages, but human computers had translated everything. We have recordings of every major council decision for 3 decades, Jake said quietly. We know about the wars you prevented, but also about the younger species you dismissed without consideration. We know about the corruption in some member governments and the territorial disputes you ignore. The chamber fell completely silent. Jake could hear the hum of the station's engines and the soft sounds of alien breathing. Elder Vex High spoke in a voice much quieter than before. Why are you showing us this? What do you want? Jake looked around the chamber at all the shocked alien faces. We want you to understand that humanity is not the primitive, weak species you thought we were. We have been preparing for this moment for 30 years. We developed better stealth technology than yours. We created ships that can go places your vessels cannot. We built colonies where your people cannot live. He paused and let his words sink in. We could have attacked you at any time. We could have disrupted your trade routes or interfered with your governments. We could have revealed your secrets to your enemies or stolen your technology. Lisa stepped forward. But we did not do any of those things. We watched and waited and learned because we wanted to join you as equals, not conquer you as enemies. Ben crossed his arms. We spent 30 years proving that we could be trusted with galactic civilization. The question now is whether you can be trusted to recognize the truth when it is shown to you. The silence in the chamber stretched on for a long time. Jake could see alien faces turning toward each other, having quiet conversations in their strange languages. Finally, Elder Vex High spoke again. Captain Morrison, this revelation changes many things. The council must discuss these new facts. But first, I have one question. Yes, Elder Vex High? If your people are so advanced and capable, why did you present yourselves as primitive and weak in your first request? Jake smiled. Because we wanted to see what kind of people you really are. The council chamber was so quiet that Jake could hear his own heartbeat. Every alien in the room stared at him with expressions he could not read. Some looked shocked, others looked angry, and a few looked something that might have been afraid. Elder Vex High was the first to break the silence. His golden scales had turned a darker color, and his voice was much softer than before. You tested us. For 30 years, you watched and judged our character while we remained ignorant of your presence. Jake nodded. We had to know what kind of civilization we were dealing with. We needed to understand if the Galactic Council was worthy of human membership. The insect queen's mandibles clicked together rapidly. Worthy? You question our worthiness? We have maintained galactic peace for 3,000 years. Lisa stepped forward calmly. Peace for those you consider equals. But what about the hundreds of younger species you have dismissed without fair consideration? How many civilizations like ours have you turned away because they did not meet your narrow definitions of advancement? The crystal beings chimed in harmony, but the sound was confused and uncertain. We have established procedures for evaluating species. These procedures have worked for millennia. Ben crossed his arms. Your procedures are designed to reject anyone different from you. You look for copies of your own technology and your own social structures. You never consider that other species might have found better ways to solve problems. The Mindari collectives. Water section pulsed with many colors at once. The humans speak truth. We have observed council decisions that rejected species for superficial reasons. We believed this was necessary for maintaining order. Elder Vex High looked around at the other council members. Are we so set in our ways that we cannot recognize superior capabilities when they are demonstrated before us? The plant-like aliens rustled their leaves nervously. The humans have shown abilities that exceed our own in several areas. Their stealth technology is more advanced than anything we possess. Their adaptability allows them to colonize worlds we cannot touch. Jake watched as the aliens talked among themselves in their various languages. He could see them pointing at the holographic display that still showed human ships and colonies throughout the galaxy. After several minutes, Elder Vex High turned back to face the humans. Captain Morrison, your demonstration has forced us to reconsider everything we thought we knew about your species. But more than that, it has made us question our own methods and assumptions. That was partly our goal, Jake admitted. We hoped that showing you the truth would help you see the flaws in your current system. The crystal beings chimed again. What do you propose we do about these flaws? Lisa opened her computer and displayed a set of documents. We have spent 30 years studying not just your technology, but your social and political systems. We have identified several areas where changes could benefit everyone. She pressed a button, and new images appeared in the holographic display. First, the Council should establish new protocols for evaluating emerging species. Instead of looking for copies of existing technology, look for innovation and potential. Ben added, second, younger species should be given opportunities to prove themselves through actions, not just presentations. Give them challenges to solve instead of just asking them to show what they already have. Elder Vex High nodded slowly. These suggestions have merit, but implementing such changes would require unanimous council approval. And more importantly, it would require species with the wisdom and experience to guide such reforms. Jake smiled. Is that an invitation, Elder? Vex High? It is more than an invitation, the Elder replied. It is a request. The Galactic Council formally invites humanity not just to join our organization, but to help us reform it. The Insect Queen stood up in her section. I support this proposal. The humans have demonstrated capabilities that we overlooked and wisdom that we lacked. They could help us avoid similar mistakes in the future. One by one, the other alien species voiced their agreement. The crystal beings chimed their approval. The Mindari collective pulsed with unified colors. The plant aliens rustled in harmony. Jake looked at Lisa and Ben. Both of them nodded at him with pride and excitement in their eyes. Elder Vex High, honorable council members, humanity accepts your invitation, Jake said formally. But we have conditions of our own. Several aliens made surprised sounds. Elder Vex High tilted his head. You would negotiate with us? After we have offered you full membership? Not negotiate, Jake corrected. Collaborate. If we are to be true partners in this council, then our voice must be heard equally. Lisa stepped forward. Our first condition is that the Council must review all species that have been rejected in the past 100 years. We believe many of them deserve a second chance with fairer evaluation methods. Ben added, our second condition is that humans will serve as advocates for newly discovered species. We will help them prepare for Council evaluation and ensure they receive fair consideration. Jake continued, our third condition is that the Council must establish a new department focused on innovation and adaptation. Too many Council species have become comfortable with old ways of thinking. The galaxy needs fresh ideas and new approaches to solve emerging problems. Elder Vex High looked around at the other Council members. They had quick conversations in their alien languages before he turned back to the humans. Your conditions are acceptable, Elder Vex High announced. The Galactic Council hereby grants full membership to humanity, with all rights and responsibilities that entails. Captain Morrison, you and your team are welcome to remain here as the first human representatives. Jake felt a wave of relief and excitement wash over him. After all the years of preparation and planning, humanity had finally achieved its goal of joining the galactic community. But more than that, they had done it on their own terms. Thank you, Elder Vex High. We are honored to join the Council and look forward to working with all member species. Lisa closed her computer and smiled at the alien delegates. I believe this is the beginning of a new era for galactic civilization. An era where wisdom is valued over age and innovation is prized over tradition. Ben straightened his shoulders and looked around the chamber with pride. Humanity has always been at its best when facing impossible challenges. I think the galaxy is about to become a more interesting place. Elder Vex High's scales lightened to their normal golden color as he rose to his full impressive height. Indeed, Commander Hayes, the Council has existed for 3,000 years, but I suspect the next 1,000 will be unlike anything we have experienced before. Jake walked to the center of the chamber and looked up at the stars visible through the crystal dome above them. For 30 years, humans had watched those stars and dreamed of joining the civilizations that lived among them. Now the dream had become reality. But Jake knew this was not an ending. It was just the beginning of humanity's greatest adventure. The galaxy was vast and full of wonders that humans had only imagined. There were new species to meet, new worlds to explore, and new challenges that would test human ingenuity and determination. And for the first time in thousands of years, the Galactic Council had members who understood that sometimes the greatest strength comes not from perfection, but from the courage to keep growing and changing. The stars had always called to humanity. Now, finally, humanity was ready to answer.